Tell us a little bit about what demand has been like across the country for your products, Jif peanut butter, Smuckers jam, and everything else you make, Folgers coffee and pet food.
Sarah, thanks for having me, first of all. I guess I would just take a step back first and say this is obviously a very big humanitarian crisis. And as you guys were just talking earlier a few minutes ago, we are optimistic that the human spirit can prevail and is going to get through this crisis. I mean, at the end of the day, we are a company of purpose, and we view this as a humbling, an incredible opportunity and a responsibility to really support our customers, our consumers, and really even our communities where we work. I mean, not only are we focused on meeting demand and making sure that we can make and ship all of the products necessary that the consumers want, whether that's pet food or peanut butter or coffee, but we also have a responsibility to our communities in supporting food banks and making sure that the hungry also are fed as well.
So how difficult has that been, Mark, to keep the supply chain running? Have you had to increase production, and are you having trouble getting it all transported into the stores?
I would say for the most part, our supply chain is working very well. We have about 25 plants across North America, and all of them are running essentially at full capacity. We have had no issues from a health standpoint, and we have, obviously had to work very hard to make sure our incredible employees are engaged and are able to come to work and that they feel comfortable coming to work. So it's really, if you think about the healthcare workers across the nation, all of the industries that have to come to work. When you think about our employees, about 2/3 of them actually have to come to work. So making sure that they're safe, first and foremost, that they can continue to do their job in a safe environment, and then obviously continue to make and ship. And so far, we have had no hiccups. Obviously, we're talking to our customers every day to make sure that we are allocating the right products to the right parts of the country and Canada as well. But it has been the need for us to be extremely agile, adapt, and really manage this thing on a day-to-day basis has been critical. And we've been able to do that with a lot of success so far.
Mark, some of the other food companies I've talked to, some of the other executives have said that they try to keep the lines of communication open with the governors because it's so important when you have these economies largely shut down. Places like California, which is such a key agricultural source for this country, they need to make sure that those lines stay open. What would your message be to the governors? How can they better help you get the food that we need on the shelves?
Well, absolutely. Actually, we have had multiple dialogues with governors, obviously in Ohio and some of the other states where we operate. It has been very important. I would say the Consumer Brands Association as well, which is the industry association, has been a strong advocate for the industry. And we have had a lot of success when you think state by state, being able to work through some of the issues, making sure that our products continue to be classified as essential products. We have had a lot of success, and I would say overall, the various state and local governments have been very cooperative.
Unemployment is a big topic for us today. We obviously saw that shocking 3.3 million Americans filing for unemployment claims last week. What are we going to see in the food industry? It sounds like you are keeping all your workers there and in fact, paying them more. How long can that last?
Well, in the scheme of things, we don't have a lot of employees that can't do their job, but if they're not in the location, there are a few, but we have worked very hard to try to avoid doing any furloughs or any layoffs. That's why we've actually provided those workers who can't do their job from home, but have to be at home, 12 weeks, up to 12 weeks of additional pay. So we are really, obviously we've given about 2/3 of our employees that do have to come to work. We've given them some additional compensation, and then making sure that those other workers have up to 12 weeks of pay continuance has been very important.
Mark, whenever we have crisis like this, thinking 9/11, it changes us. It changes consumer behavior. It changes the way we live. How do you think about the sort of long-term structural impacts of this for the U.S. consumer?
Yeah, I would give a couple examples. In pet food, which is our largest business, and obviously we're leaders in pet snacks, 5 pet plants all operating at full capacity. One of the consumer behaviors that we've seen is a shift, an acceleration, particularly in pet and also in coffee, to buying these products online. They have been accelerating over the last year or so, but in the last even couple weeks, we have seen an uptick and a shift online. And so that is a behavior that likely will become sticky. And, there are other areas that we could point to as well, but that shift or the being accustomed to buy certain brands, whether it's Milk-Bone or 9 Lives or Rachel Ray Nutrish, a lot of consumers are starting to shift their purchases online. The other thing that I would point to as well, Jif is a #1 peanut butter. Obviously, we produce Jif. The demand for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, whether it's Uncrustables or whatnot, we have had to ensure that as we're making our Jif products, that we focus only on those items that are in the highest demand. So, for example, we're making more creamy peanut butter than we are crunchy, and we're ensuring that we get those products directly, in the hands of our customers or our online retailers. And if you think about Jif and some of the brands like Folgers and some of these mainstream brands that have been part of the American psyche for so long, consumers are coming back to these brands that maybe in the past had not been acquiring them or buying them. And so we think that there is some of that may stick, also be sticky. So it's both, a return to some of these mainstream brands that we had seen maybe a shift previously, and then also this shift back to more online shopping.